So we're live.
We're live. Hi, everyone, and welcome to the Nerdy Up North podcast. It's a nerdy podcast that is hosted by Northern Nerds. I am one of your hosts, Sam.
And I am the other host, Paul. And hopefully we are coming through a little bit clearer, a little bit shinier, because I've changed the resolution because I've got better bandwidth now, so I don't have to run this through a spud. So hopefully,
good.
Everything looks nice and shiny. So yes, we are joined by our forever friend in the wars, in the Star Wars, our companion, our Wookiee, shall we say, in the Jake. Oh, he's showing something. He's got a card.
Oh, for God's sake.
Shiny Cassian no card that I found in a shop. Hello.
Hello, Jake.
Thanks for having me.
And I'm not disturbed. I'm just...
She's got a stick.
She's got a stick. I found it. Discovering a new
Paul,
kink factor now.
You did seek Yoda by watching this movie, so this is your fault.
Yes. So yes, we have found Yoda, and she comes in peace, I hope, or comes in pieces.
I'm gonna fucking take this mask off. It's burning.
I'm gonna fucking gan through your lunchbox.
So yes, we have.
Gonna eat all your fucking food.
Space sausages.
We have the attacker of R2. We've got Kelly. So I think this is the first Star Wars episode that we've had Kelly on as well, isn't it? That we've managed to.
That is correct. That is. Huxley is over the moon. Because we watched it together. Because I was just like, we have movie nights every Friday, and I choose, and then he chooses. And it was my choice, and I was like, "Come on, watch Empire Strikes Back," and he was just like, "Well, yes, why?" and I was like, "Oh, I'm doing a podcast on it," and he was like, "Oh, it should have been Return of the Jetty." He calls it the Jetty because when he was little, he couldn't say Jedi.
Right.
He used to call it Return of the Jetty. So we still call it Jetty, out of nostalgia factor. The Return of the Jetty. But yeah, so it was lovely watching it with my son in preparation for this. So it's dedicate this to Hux.
Yes,
he's right though. We should have watched Return of the Jedi.
it's coming. It'll come down the line. As I said, everything has its place. We've got another 8 months, so we've got another 8 episodes of Star Wars to touch on at some point. So yes. So, Sammy, do you want to get your disclaimer out? Because we've got Kelly on just to save ourselves.
Yes, absolutely. Sure. Everything discussed in today's episode is our opinions and our opinions alone. If you'd like to discuss anything from today's episode, please come and join us on the Facebook page. You can join us in the Discord or the comment section where we can have an open discussion. But what we won't have is anyone coming for us and telling us our opinions are wrong, because we can all agree to disagree in fandom. So let's keep it fun. Keep it kind, and keep the toxic behavior out of her nerdism.
Yes. So with this year, we have decided, I think me and Sammy, the plan was start the month with a classic movie, so have a bit of class, black and white love there, and finish the month with a bit of Star Wars. So each month we are going to be talking about either an individual film, an individual show, or even basically just a general chat on the wars. And so far it's been entertaining. It's been, like, say, quite
been my first one.
Yeah.
You were ill last time.
I was ill.
Oh yeah.
I think the amount of people that dropped out that episode as well, it was like, oh, Joe was meant to be on. No, he's going to see Nicole. I was like, all right, then Sammy was meant to be on. No, she's ill. Well, so
it was a cursed episode.
It was. Well, it definitely was. While the top grumps, and we actually saw Chris nearly die live on air as well. So he was keep getting worse and worse as he was going. So that was interesting. Now the little monster is all roided up, and he's just full of rage and hate and everything at the moment.
But he started going to the gym so he can attack you.
Possibly. You will be dead. So I know me and Jake's already had a little tit for tat on the Facebook group about this today, because in my opinion, and I think a lot of people's opinions, this is the best Star Wars movie. I know Jake doesn't agree, so and we all allowed to disagree. That's the thing.
I still want to know why, though.
Yeah, no, we're going to have that. We're going to have a conversation. So
I want to know why.
Kelly, with you being, I'd say, a firm favorite on our podcast, but new to the Wars talk.
Yeah.
Where does Empire rank in your list of the Star Wars?
Right. I need to admit something before I do this. Right.
Oh.
I have only watched these in the past 7 years. Okay. I am a new fan to Star Wars. I used to collect the Tazos without even watching them. Remember the Tazos?
I've got right under this desk somewhere.
When they brought out the digitally remastered
yes.
films in 1997, I didn't even watch it then. You know what I mean? Star Wars never interested us until I met Adam and we watched them together, and we watched them all the way through, and we did it with Aliens as well, like Alien. So sometimes I feel like I'm a little bit of like a not a true fan, but I feel like because I've came into it later, I've got a different sort of appreciation for it. But I will say, The Empire Strikes Back, I enjoy, but Return of the Jedi is my fucking favorite.
Right. Okay.
I love this, but I love Return of the Jedi much better.
That's fine. And again, I love that. Like you say, you only found the Wars, say, like Star Wars 7 years ago. It's not about when you found the Star Wars or being a fan. It's like you can enjoy it, and that story you told like before, like say just about you and like say the little one watching it and experiencing that together. That's what these movies are about. It's like there's certain movies what I class as passing the torch movies, where you would watch and you would watch with a younger generation, and you can experience it with them, and you're kind of like living through them, experiencing it again for the first time. I think that there's certain movies that you don't really get that impact with, like, but this one, Ghostbusters, I'll mention the Goonies, like all are good movies that transition to the next generation. It's kind of like not trying to lose that, but I don't think you'll ever lose that with Star Wars, because it's like a juggernaut of its own franchise now. But
it's timeless. It's absolutely timeless. I mean, when I was watching it, Cloud City, it looked like modern day. Like the people walking around in the clothes, I was just like, clear. Oh my god! Like,
did we all watch the Disney Plus version?
Yes, me. Yeah, even though I own them on VHS and DVD.
Yeah, but when I was watching this one, I was like, oh, when I was a kid, I literally just couldn't see what was in this scene, like in Dagobah when he goes in the tree. I'm like, just because I had like a 14-inch television and it was VHS, I was like, I just couldn't see where he was wandering and stuff. But I was like, it makes much more sense now.
Yes, it's very clear on a 75-inch telly.
I feel so
even
inadequate.
though I did not watch it on the big telly. I watched it in bed, so but it was still very clear.
So before we start delving further, Sammy, do you want to give us your taglines that you'll be itching to get out there?
I am actually, even though
Sammy didn't say which one's her favorite.
Sammy said it before.
Oh well, episode 1, but.
No. Do you know what? When I leaned down earlier, I was looking for my old notebook, because we did do many moons ago a ranking of our Star Wars, and I just wanted to see, because I can't remember where I put. I know Rogue One might have been
second,
one or two.
I think it was second for me. But
I think it might have been my first actually. But I just want to see where this one lied. I used to love Return of the Jedi. I used to think it was the best one. It was the superior one, but honestly. This kind of trousers it a little bit. Certain factors in it that make it a little bit better. And also, I didn't fall asleep in the middle of this one like I did Return of the Jedi in the cinema where I saw it last year.
I know, I didn't see no Max Rebo in this film, so I'm not sure if it can be
so the taglines for this really basic, nothing too extravagant. The adventure continues.
Oh, fucking hell.
Oh, it gets better, Kelly, because the Star Wars saga continues.
Right.
Or
specific.
The battle continues.
The battle.
And they are the taglines for this movie, because this movie is kind of... Do you know how in the first A New Hope, they were very much like, oh, this is not going to work. It's the B movie at best, like, you know, and then it just exploded. Yeah, took off. They generally thought the same about this as well. They didn't think it was going to be is successful. I know George Lucas wanted to completely and utterly financially support this, so it was out of a studio's hand.
Yeah.
And he ended up doing that by the money he made off A New Hope and getting a loan. However, the loan came
He wouldn't have got it off me.
Probably not. But I think the loan came from Paramount Studios.
Right. Yeah.
If I remember reading that rightly. Yeah, he financed it himself, and then he went to Motion Picture Association of America, and that's where he got the loan. But yeah, but he didn't want to direct it. He did not want. He wanted to be part of the creative side and the finance, but he didn't want the responsibility of directing.
He's a weird one, Mr. Lucas, doesn't he? Yeah, he kind of like doesn't want to take responsibility for anything, but then he's like, oh, it's all mine at the same time.
Yeah,
wants the glory.
Yeah, but this one he just wanted to be financially independent from Hollywood. Like, and he succeeded.
Yeah. So to answer Jake's question, why this is my favorite?
Yeah, go for it.
I think the tones in this one, it changes so much. Like the first one is very, even though it's in space and there's a lot happening, it's very concealed. There's like, the most you see is like Tatooine a little bit. Not Tatooine. Is it Tatooine?
Hoth.
Yeah. No, that Hoth was the Empire in A New Hope.
New Hope. Right.
Yeah,
sorry.
Yeah, and basically then you go on the Death Star, and that's where it's contained. This is the one where it gives you the galaxy. You start off on Hoth, which is just one of the most breathtaking pieces of cinema, from like the opening to basically the battle scenes, which is one of the greatest battle scenes ever filmed. Like even if you did like war, like standard war, and I think it just the way everything kind of works. You see the AT-ATs coming over the like space camels coming over the horizon, and then you go through like asteroid fields. Everything about this is just big, epic. There's big moments. You go to the Dagobah system to meet Yoda. Then you go to Sky City. It's just kind of painting with more broader strokes, and like everything you're watching, especially like you say, if you watch it on a big screen at the cinema or go around Sammy's and watch it through the window, it's just everything is just like eye candy, and it's just like whoa.
Yeah.
And there's more depth to the story. There's complex. The characters start to get fleshed out. You start falling in. This is the film you officially start falling in love with Han Solo, because the first one, because the first one is just a bit of a grumpy space pirate that you just like. He's second fiddle at best. Luke takes a little bit of a backseat, but again, he starts going through the motions of being a Jedi. Just all the different aspects kind of play a part. Carrie Fisher, like, is not just the eye candy in this. She's a strong. She likes to be independent. She kisses as many blokes as she can.
Even again, if they are a brother.
Yep. There's
she
like
couldn't shut that little door thing when she was trying to fix the ship.
But then they give have a little bit more balls with the movie as well. Like you actually think that C-3PO is going to finally be blown up, even though they kind of bottle it and start putting them together back to front. But that comedy and that kind of relief. And they give us the most beautiful man in the galaxy as well, Lando Calrissian, who's just like, who can else other than Kelly can pull off a cape? It's just absolutely magnificent. Like he looks better than Vader with a cape.
He's a little twerp though. He sells them out to the Empire.
But I get that. He regrets it.
I get that though. I get that because he's trying to survive and he's trying to go through. It's just everything in this, like when they start giving you the droids, the as I said with the AT-ATs and like the different machineries, like everything just looks so much better and so much. It's kind of like, oh, I know a lot of it was like these are going to be the next Star Wars toys and stuff to advertising, but fuck me, did I want all them ships? Did I want all them droids?
And I had them all.
Okay. So like I do get where you're coming from, because it does move and you hit a lot more different like areas and stuff. I think like for me, I definitely think the cantina scene has a lot more going on for my imagination than sort of anything in this one, where I'm like, whoa, look at all those weird guys that I want to know more about, and like how does this entire like world even work.
Yeah.
I'm not that interested in Cloud City. To be
Me
honest,
neither.
I don't care about Bespin gas mining and how Lando's got a weird scam city.
I'm petrified of Cloud City. I can totally understand where you're coming from, Paul, with like the epic landscape she introduced to, you know, so many different like planets and places, and it's breathtaking. But Cloud City scares the shit out of me.
If you're scared of heights, you would be fucked.
Well, I'm not scared of heights, but it's this idea of falling forever.
Right? Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, when Luke, like, oh, spoiler alert, falls out the freaking thing, and he's like grabs on, and I just think, hey God, imagine like what would happen first? Like, how would you die? You'd just fall forever. What if you needed the toilet? Would your skin just like thingy off? Like, when would you die?
You could accidentally
freaks
fall
me
off on your way to work, or like after the bar or something.
It's I could not live in Cloud City, just not knowing that like what is beneath me. You know what I mean? And that everyday threat of you could fall forever.
And the ventilation system was weird as well, because like Luke fell and he just suddenly got sucked into a pipe and then turned into this what looked like a fun slide, and it was like
it looks really fun.
And it's like now he's trash. Just open up and let him go.
And when he was hanging on, I just went, how convenient that that's there. Like that was my instant thought. Not phew, our hero is saved.
Well,
it's
you
like,
see, the
how
Force
convenient.
guided him to that.
And we all mocked Carrie Fisher when she throws herself back into space, back in.
Oh, I didn't mock it because I'm a nice nerd.
Did you just go,
I went, hell yeah, this looks awesome.
This is the princess.
And this movie is not without its trial and tribulations. There's quite a few rewrites, quite a few things that could possibly have changed the complete landscape of the Star Wars story. But what I found and I probably will get into that as we go along, but what I found really interesting is how smart the cast were. So the cast on the everyone was happy to come back. Anthony Daniels was a little bit funny about it, but eventually, you know, shut the fuck up and was like, yes, I'll do it. David Prowse was a little bit hesitant because of, you know, him finding out that
deleted.
Yeah, but he realized that his error of his ways, and he was like, no, it's totally fine. But what they did, instead of taking a massive paycheck, they took a percentage of the movie intake.
Right, okay. So was this the first time this kind of deal had gone about?
Yeah,
so this was
they didn't do it in the first one, because in the first one, everyone was under the impression that it was just a B movie. Like, this is not going to go anywhere. We are literally, we kind of like, we're just going to go with the flow. It's a job, basically. It was a job. Yeah. So when they realized how great it did in the cinemas, they were like, we're going to, and every one of them took a percentage, which means that they all came out with more money than they would have if they took the paycheck.
Yeah.
Which is incredibly smart of all of them. Alec Guinness, it wasn't a case of he didn't want to come back. He was really poorly at this point.
Yeah.
Like really, really sick. And George Lucas was they were thinking maybe we're gonna have to recast Obi-Wan. And Guinness was like, if we can do it in a day.
Yeah.
Bless him.
I'll do it. And they literally started at 9 o'clock that morning. They finished at 4, and that was it. They were all done. And he was paid 2.5% of the box office gross thing. Came out with a lot of coin. He did for the hours that he worked.
Yeah.
He came out with a lot of money. That
Guinness
percentage doesn't sound a lot. But he came out with a lot.
It's nuts that how much he hates Star Wars, considering it must have set him up for the rest of his life. Because even like I showed, like, me and Sammy were watching like a TikTok with Harrison Ford where we're asking him how does he stand on there, like up on movies and say the stupid stuff. And he's just like, the money. That makes it okay. I will say whatever, like, silly Red Hulk thing you want me to say.
Just as long as that paycheck. Yeah, as long as that paycheck's coming in. Well, Harrison Ford was the one who, and we all know this, he didn't want to stick around. He wanted to leave.
That's why they made him into a table at the end, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Well,
Carbonite table.
So
he couldn't.
I
The next
believe
one, like, he didn't have to come back. He could just be furniture.
I believe he campaigned every Star Wars movie that he was being in. He's campaigned to have a death scene. He's wanted to be killed off in every Star Wars movie. I think it was even. I think the only one wasn't New Hope. Empire, he wanted to die. Jedi, he said, "You have to kill me now. It'll have such a gravity importance." Just because he just didn't want to come back.
No, he didn't. And I'm just trying to find it because there's one line, the most famous line in this movie. Well, I consider it anyway, where Leia says, "I love you," and he says, "I know."
Yeah.
Originally,
Natalie got really mad at that part.
Well, originally, in the first draft, because this is how awkward Harrison Ford was kind of being, the original line was Carrie Fisher says, "I love you," and he says, "Just remember that, Leia, because I'll be back."
Oh God! No.
That was going to be the original line of that until the complete rewrite. Because again, at the end of this movie, nobody knew where Harrison Ford stood.
Yeah.
If he was going to come back or not. But yeah,
he could have done a Patrick Swayze and said ditto. I would have preferred that. You know what I mean?
That just makes me set my teeth on edge. That line, even worse than I know.
I hear that. I know, because I love the dynamics and the flirting and the little spats that they have. It's just so, like, sexually charged, and it's just it's lush. I love it. It's like playful, but then I just think you're a cock.
Yeah,
you deserve this.
I mean? You get frozen now, you bastard.
Yeah, you deserve this.
Be a table.
Talking about the lines though, because I always find this really interesting. Like I say, I got Sammy with this the other day as well.
He did.
The most famous line in this movie is the most misquoted line ever in movie history. Everyone always gets it wrong.
Well, ask them too.
So, because I think Kelly already knows it, so she seems. Jake, what do you think the most famous line is?
What, the "No, Luke, I am your father" line?
Yeah, so everyone says, "Luke, I am your father." It's like, no, it just says, "I am your father."
Well, he says "No, Luke" first.
No, it's like it's thing, but there's no "Luke, I am your father" in it.
Oh, is it just "No"?
No, I am your father.
In my notes, the movie's most famous line is the most misquoted. While many believe that Darth Vader says, "Luke, I am your father," he actually says, "No, I am your father."
Yeah.
Well,
he says, "You killed my father."
I guess that's because, like, when you're saying it out of context, you're like, you need to stick Luke in there, otherwise it doesn't make sense.
Nobody knows. That cry, Mark Hamill's cry face is just the worst.
With his little stump,
You know what though?
No, I am your father.
I do like the part, like, I do like the it's impossible part, because it's just like
it's impossible.
He's from an ugly crying. I do like that. It's funny.
And I've got to give
good tragedy.
And I've got to give, like, say, the people who made this film kudos as well, because they created a whole scene at the start of this movie just for the fact that Mark Hamill had a crash and had an injured face.
Yeah.
So the whole Wampa scene, that wasn't in the movie originally. That was brought in so that they could give Luke a scar.
Yeah, and that whole sequence is genuine. The snow, the blizzard, everything. They were absolutely freezing their tits off because of how cold, but it was genuine. Like, it was a genuine snowstorm they were in. Yeah, that was pretty interesting. In the original draft of this, because there's many of them, but in the original draft, Darth Vader was not Luke's father.
Right.
In the original draft, Anakin Skywalker was going to be his own character as a Force ghost.
Right.
To be able, and he's the one who was going to bring the twins together, and Darth Vader was just a nothing.
So so was the twins already an idea in this one? Because that's what confuses me. Because when I watch it now,
twins.
Yeah, because
well, that line is the line where, between Obi-Wan and Yoda, where he says, "There is another."
Yeah.
Yeah, that's added in later to kind of help you realize that, so it wasn't, you're probably right, it probably wasn't. So Leah Brackett's first draft of the screenplay contained the revelation of Luke's sister, her existence disclosed by the ghost of Anakin Skywalker, referred to as Nellieth Skywalker. Anakin explains that it was he, not Obi-Wan, who separated the twins at birth to protect them from Darth Vader, and that Nellieth also underwent Jedi training in another part of the galaxy so she could join forces with Luke to defeat the Sith. But that's so much to put into Leia's character, even though you've already established a side of her in A New Hope.
Yeah.
So it was dropped in the second draft of the screenplay along with the appearance of Anakin Skywalker and replaced with a scene where Obi-Wan and Yoda are discussing how they're going to find another Jedi apprentice, and that's when he says there's another.
That just makes it a little bit more weirder, because I always had the impression that, like, when they made these movies, as I said, they always wanted to do another one or a next one type thing, but they didn't have like the whole everything fleshed out. And to me, I know everyone makes jokes about the incest angles and stuff like that.
It was his fucking sister.
It was just a fucking neck on, man. Bloody hell.
And then he's like,
I'm just going back to fanboys there.
But these whole looking like smugness when she kisses him on the thing, it's like, oh man, just stop it. No.
The thing is, the kiss was like how you would kiss your brother. You know what I mean? It was a naff kiss anyway. You know what I mean? It just looked awkward and stupid, and he was just like, there you go, Han. He just knew it would like get hands back up. It's not like he fucking liked her or anything, but it was just that, I think,
Just put a disclaimer: people in Sunderland do not kiss their brothers and sisters like this. Just saying, just getting out there.
But I'm not saying... I know I'm getting a reputation, but no, it just
I'm an only child. I'm safe.
I have a sister.
Yeah.
A
it's
sister. As Darth Vader would say.
George Lucas is writing a screenplay about this already. Sammy and her sister.
Ew. Also, no. Also, this is the first time ever in Star Wars history that the Millennium Falcon was built to size.
Right.
So any other time that you have seen the Millennium Falcon, it has just been in segments and in bits.
Yeah.
This is the first time they did a full length Millennium Falcon.
So that was the set, kind of.
It was 65 feet in diameter, 16 feet in height, and basically what the weight was 23 tons.
Was this in Pinewood in London as well? Because a lot of people don't realise this. These films were either made and everything was British made. It's from.
I didn't realize it though. You've seen The Empire. It's all stuffy, like British accountants and stuff. Being like,
but it's very it's British made, but American.
Where are the tea and scones?
Yeah.
The only other place on location is Hoth.
Right. Yes.
Which they went to the planet.
That is the Netherlands, I think. I could be completely wrong there, but yeah.
Can we spend a little time on Hoth here just to see how?
Yes, please.
How magnificent, like that. Like, Sammy looked like she was scared there.
That was. I just want to give a quick shout out to what was it? Rogue Squadron, the N64 game. Hoth was my favorite level to just fly around on that endlessly. And also shout out to the amazing music when they start the sort of daytime battle, when it's like dun 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 dun, and it's got that like and everyone's like, yeah.
Just the whole build up, like you sort of see how desolate this planet is. When Luke meets the Wampa for the first time, like this abominable snowman type creature, which is just like one of the best Star Wars monsters in my opinion, like looks wise, even though he's only seen for a short space of time, but he does leave an impact. Then we get the Pua Tauntauns, which is again
oh, they're not adorable. Why does Lucas do this?
And hates
it's
them.
Awful. This is like kind of, I can't watch things where dogs die. Okay, right. So I've been going through the motions because listening to it, there's a dog death in it, and I'm just like, that affected me more. Oh, sorry. Anyway, that affected
that's
me
something
more.
To look forward to.
The death of like some of the kids, which sounds really awful, but I just think like animals are just roped into it.
Mm-hmm.
And it's, you know, it's just they're helping us out. And the fact that, you know, like they're technically, you know, snow donkeys, you know,
Yeah.
so they'll be fucking thick as out, you know, but they're so
Oh.
cute. And I just think like their deaths affect me so much.
Yeah.
And it's just like, oh my God.
It was
It's like a Star Wars dog.
But it was when he was like, oh, the minute you get out there, he's going to freeze to death. And he was like, and I'll see you in hell kind of comment. And I'm like, bitch.
Also, that's a weird line because it implies
so out
that
of
hell
place.
exists.
Yeah.
Hell exists in Star Wars.
In the galaxy.
Christian hell.
It's so out of place, isn't it? Especially with what's said beforehand. It's not like he said, go to hell, like, and I'll see you there. It was a weird line.
He's a scoundrel.
Like I said, that's why you fell in love with Han. He just didn't give a fuck. But did you? I don't know if Kelly probably didn't know this. The toy range for the Tauntauns were quite brutal at the time. I've got one. I was looking to see if I can get it out, but it's
can you like twist its head off and split
no
even
open it and put Luke in it.
The stomach was made of rubber, so you could pull it open and put the figures inside.
That is grim as fuck as a kid's toy.
As a kid's toy.
Did you know also that the Wampa survived and that Luke goes back and kills it in the expanded universe?
I've read the book. In the book, he goes back and has a Wampa war.
Did you know the book actually came out before this movie?
Right.
Came out 2 months before the movie.
The novelization.
Yeah.
Oh,
but nobody realized.
You could have had the spoilers.
It's hiding behind Jar Jar Binks. I'll see if I can get it. 2 seconds. Talk about it.
Well,
oh my God.
You know how we were talking about how this was recorded at Pinewood? So Carrie Fisher famously had an apartment over in London when she was doing more of the movies. But at the time, for this one, she was actually staying at Eric Idle's place.
Fuck off.
And the Pythons were filming Life of Brian at the time. So on an evening, Idle would have small parties with Harrison Ford.
Sorry. That's lewd.
That is disgusting.
Oh, not the tontussy.
So you put...
Our audio listeners are not going to be able to see this.
Look inside like that. She's birthing Luke.
That is disgusting.
Can you put an Ace Ventura figure in there?
Possibly. I shouldn't have done that because the rubber's very old now. It's like, oh shit, it's from the 80s.
Decreased in value.
So they had these parties with them. I'm trying to bring it back with Harrison Ford and the Rolling Stones, and this scene where the first scene that's shot. So they have this huge party. It's ridiculous. The next day for Carrie and Harrison is the film in Cloud City.
Right.
Yeah. A lot of vomiting took place that day. Idle said he was really happy with how things went when they saw the scenes that they did for that day. He was happy with his imprint that he made on them too. So, yeah.
Oh my God, that's great.
So and also that toy is grim.
Told you, like I said, the best toys in the world. Like, who had that idea? Like, let's create a tauntaun that you could split open and pull Luke out. Brilliant.
And I'll put him in, just shove him in there.
And the Wampa goes like this as well. The Wampa goes.
You know what else is when I thought, like, as a kid, I was like, oh, okay, so he sleeps inside the tauntaun all night. But no, when I was watching it this time, it's like, no, he sets up camp like while he's inside of it. So then he drags him back
just to
out.
keep him warm.
Yeah, and he's like covered in goo while he's in the tent with Han. It's just a bad scene.
That smell would have been horrific.
Yeah,
I'm just saying the smell would have been so bad. Speaking of so bad, I've got a bad feeling about it.
Right.
It is said in every movie. Who said it in this one?
Leia.
Bing, 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 bingo.
When inside the big worm.
Oh, yes, the worm. That is hilarious. I love how they don't realise they're in a fucking worm.
Yeah.
It's just like...
They get themselves in some predicaments, don't they?
It was very much been like a Doom reference, Dune reference there, not Doom, Dune reference there with a giant worm. I know they got the sandworm later in the Mandalorian type thing.
That's a great dragon.
the giant whale. Someone's
you can
ripping
use
up.
its pearl as a lightsaber crystal. No, I do like that worm scene because you get the whole like weird thing with the Minox of like, and then they go out and accidentally shoot it, and they're like,
So why is it earthquaking type thing?
So like hand like has a shoot of himself just for kicks, just like
Yes, we are in a living thing. We are in a creature.
It's very much Pinocchio and like the giant whale
the
type
fucking wheel.
Monstro.
Oh,
Monstro, yeah. Oh my god.
It's a good name.
It's a good name. I like that name.
You know what gave me nightmares as a kid? Like when I watched this for the time, I don't know why it terrified us. Like it must have been because when we were kids, we were always told that like bugs and quicksand were going to be the bane of our lives growing up. We would have to stay away from them forever. And when Luke goes to Dagobah, the Dagobah system, and his X-wing sinks in the water, R2 goes in, and some kind of thing in the water starts getting. But you never see it. And again, that's the thing I love about like these type or like horror movies as well, is when something's there and you know it's going to be scary and horrible, but you never see it. So your imagination takes over, and you're kind of freaking out what it could be under that swamp.
The Dagobah system always puts me in mind of a film that I actually watched and loved before, Flash Gordon.
Right.
Where
the
trees and stuff.
Oh,
the place with the trees and things. And I used to always get really scared when Flash went in and all you could see was the last blonde wisp of hair as he was getting like pulled down into this mud thing.
I'm saying,
like,
like I've seen it. I have not.
I did laugh on Dagobah because I was like, oh, the reptile man's on set today because there was like lizards and snakes everywhere.
They're all there. Well, Jim Henson was originally asked to come in and do Yoda. Right. He was the first choice, and Jim Henson said no, thank you. However, I got my guy Frank here. Frank will come and help you out. So Dagobah is probably the most interesting set out of all of them because they had to fit all the puppeteers in because Frank only does a certain part. Yoda is made up of quite a few moving parts, even though to look at him, you wouldn't think that.
Nobody picks stuff up. That's the crazy thing.
Because he's got one person doing this side and that side and his head. So they had to create a whole set to be able to fit everyone in. And the only way that Ivan Kershner could give directions, because nobody could go in. Nobody could, you couldn't have the director next to them. It had to literally just be a camera and everyone in the scene. So Mark Hamill used to have an earpiece in so he could hear Frank Oz talking.
All right.
But the earpiece was also connected to Ivan Kershner, who would be given directions to Frank Oz, Mark Hamill would hear it and think that he's talking to Yoda. And it would just got really, really confusing to where Frank Oz literally had to take over the direction of Dagobah. The scene with Mark Hamill when he smacks his head had to be done 60 times. I was happy with it. And when Mark Hamill used to get a look, because his son was born around this time and he was a little bit homesick, and obviously the conditions of Dagobah were not great, and the fact he had to hit his head 60 times, the way Frank Oz decided to cheer him up is he would bring Kermit and Miss Piggy with him.
Thanks.
So Kermit was in Dagobah.
Kermit was actually in Dagobah.
That would absolutely cheer me up.
That was how we. That's
as opposed to your own child.
I don't have one.
Have a Kermit. I miss my child. Have Kermit.
He's Kermit.
No, they're my surrogate parent figures. Obviously, as a child who grew up with the Muppets.
So, Muppets babies. You just used to stick that on, and there you go. They would raise you. But how class is Frank Oz, man? Just how am I going to cheer this guy up who's like proper homesick at the moment?
I'm just imagine it now, and he's just like, Lukey. He's like,
I'm your father.
Because if you think about it now, like the amount of interpretations or versions of Yoda we've had since Empire Strikes Back now. I know we've got a small bit in Jedi. We've had him in the prequels. We've then had like Ghost Yoda to the point where we've got Grogu now, which is again just like another version of Yoda. Shall we? Let's be honest about it.
Yeah.
The original puppeteering and the work on set for Empire is just mind blowing. How good and how realistic. I know it sounds stupid saying it's a puppet. How much you love that puppet as well, because it feels.
I don't think of it as a puppet after a while. Like maybe at the start when I'm like, oh, I'm impressed. He's eating a sausage, he's picking stuff up. But then like when he's talking to him in the hut, like I'm not thinking it's a puppet. I'm just like listening to what he's saying.
It's a character.
Your eyes adjust, don't they? Because at first you're like, well, look at that, because you know it's aged a bit.
Put the mask back on, Kelly.
Look at that.
Look at it. Go to sleep.
You will be.
And the lad had a child.
I think we should explain. Last night, Jake sent me a video of bad lip reading in Dagobah.
The Seagulls Stop It Now song, if anyone's wondering.
Me and my little boys sing it to each other all the time. We'll just come out with it, just like run, 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 jump. I could be a backpack while you run. Was it twist on a hairy vine? I could be a backpack while you climb.
There is 2 character backpacks in this movie. It's insane.
Yes. Yeah, but which one would you prefer?
Yoda. I don't want
Anthony Daniels on my back. No, thank you.
He's too what do you call it? He's too harsh.
It'd be too spicy. You're not walking straight there, Sammy. You're crouching a bit. Are you hungry? Get something to eat.
And then like Han's dying, he's like, I can't see anything. Turn me around.
This is not about you, C-3PO. Like, calm yourself.
Also, if he had his head on backwards, then he would be able to see. But he complained about that as well.
But he would have just been seeing a hairy like Wookiee if he was looking back, because like he was going to see Chewbacca's head.
I was nearly crying with Chewie Mind towards the end. I really was.
God.
I don't think I've ever looked at Chewie before, because obviously he's so iconic.
You haven't looked at him.
No,
I'm looking at him a different way. I think I could cuddle him tonight.
Yeah, actually I would, but I don't think of him as a character that I would like go, oh, he is like my favorite character kind of thing.
Yeah,
but he really is such a good
character,
especially for something that doesn't say anything like of that we can understand. All that emotion at the end, like it absolutely broke me. I was like,
it was more than his mate, like you know what I mean? Because they have that like relationship of banter and stuff. And the thing is, what's amazing about Chewbacca is like it's just like he's putting the words into his acting, so you can kind of see that, you know, oh, he's pissed off, oh, he's taking the piss, or he's, you know, he said something funny. But we don't understand it, and that is fantastic for a character to be able to be like that. But yeah, it fucking breaks me when he cries out.
What gets me is when you know how he's putting C-3PO together, and his hands don't look like they would have any grip because of how long the tips are, and I'm like, how is he picking that? And it's how he just gets his head.
Well, I don't. Again, I had a question about this as well. Because he's putting 3CPO away. He's locked in a jail cell. They've given him a screwdriver. Surely they would have taken all weapons. I'm like, surely they would have like de-equipped him, because if someone came in, he could have stabbed them and got away. Maybe they just weren't as violent as them.
I noticed they took his bowcaster off him though, because he just has a regular gun, not his little crossbow thing. I love how much mileage they get out of the Millennium Falcon is broken in this movie, and all the comedy moments with that, where they have to climb in the hole and just like the tool set falling on like Han, and then later on when like, you know, R2 like slides into it, and just the whole weird stuff where they won't take any advice from like C-3PO, and he's just like telling them on the sly, like, I think you need to check this. But he's like, he's not willing to admit C-3PO's right about anything.
Laugh it up, fuzzball.
But this should be, because even though he's annoying, he's still a robot. He's still got an identic memory. He's still got memory banks, even though he's got.
But he's annoying as shit, though.
But Han would like never admit that he's like useful, like ever.
Do you know what? Funny. I don't blame him. I don't know why. Like, I love droids. Like, it's the first thing I gravitate towards in anything to do with Star Wars is the droids. I probably own more droid stuff than I do actual Jar Jar stuff. But he just I just don't like him. And even worse, when I saw him at Star Wars Celebration, I was like, you are really creepy. Really creepy.
R2 gets short shrift in this movie because he gets left outside in the rain. He's like covered in like crap and.
But R2,
I love R2. R2 is the droid that he's hilarious. Wow, you know, I just fucking mint.
Yeah,
and they let him put his like computer thing into the power socket in Cloud City. They're just like, oh, can you just check the door panel? And he's like, okay, it's yeah. He probably like gets abused in this one, I'd say.
Well,
hit with a stick.
Yep.
With a
Who was it?
The fact that you brought the stick.
Kenny Baker, it was in it, wasn't it?
Kenny Baker. It was Kenny Baker. Kenny Baker, the legend that he was. Was Kenny Baker's died now?
It does do a lot more like driving around in this one. I noticed, you know, like in like action scenes.
Actually,
I guess for R2.
Yeah, there's a lot more moving about, not just like a stagnant like stay put R2.
Do that little rock on the feet thing.
I love that. I love that. This is the first movie that we get the bounty hunter.
Yeah. Bosk, the one everyone likes. Yeah.
Because he is not Boba Fett in this movie. He doesn't actually have a name. He's just the bounty hunter.
So you watched the Disney Plus version, is that right?
Yes.
So you got the edited one where they put the guy from the Mandalorian's voiceover in it.
Yes.
Oh my God, is that right?
Yes. Because the New Zealand accent now.
Yeah, because
yes.
Okay.
Because in my head I was thinking like, okay, did they make the new clones accent sound like this? But then I looked it up and I was like, oh, it's one of the weird after changes.
Oh, maybe I should have read my own notes, because that actually does say that. Jeremy, what I was more interested in was the fact that Jeremy Bulloch didn't actually audition for Boba Fett.
Right.
The suit just fit him.
Yeah, no, I remember that. Literally
it. So he was comfortable in it. It fit him. Very low maintenance for him. But he assumed that, and he did speak the lines, and he just assumed he would be dubbed over.
Which he was.
Jason Wingreen was the credit until 2000. And then, should have read my own notes.
That's fine.
Okay, so Paul was one of these children. Why did you think Boba Fett was so cool? Because he doesn't do anything.
I wasn't a fan of the Fett. I wasn't.
Yeah.
No.
It's me. I'm the fan.
Okay, but he doesn't do anything, Sammy.
No, like even the originals. Return of the Jedi. I was never like, oh, this guy's cool. I think he, like aesthetically he looks like one of the interesting, because there wasn't Mandalorians back. It wasn't explained.
The story of Mandalorian wasn't there.
So it was kind of like just seeing the armor and saying like, oh, that's interesting. It's cool. I was more interested in the pig people on like the pig in Jedi. Them were the figure I always wanted as a kid.
Oh, the Gamorrean gods.
I had one of them.
Pig people.
The face was great. I didn't realize, but Boba Bear is actually just behind us.
Yeah,
he's sitting on my shoulder, kind of.
I was always an R2 fan, like I say, growing up as a kid. So like the
honestly,
R2...
like for some reason, was it the action figure? Do you think? Because like Boba Fett just had like this rocket to like superstardom, but he doesn't really like. There's nothing. I
don't even know where it comes from.
So the Fett lore again. If anyone watches this, tell us if I'm wrong. Because the Fett lore, there was always two things other than the movies that set everyone excited about Boba Fett. One was the Christmas special where they saw Boba Fett riding a Rancor.
Yes,
that people were like, wasn't there? Went crazy over. The second one, it was because the action figure got banned. The original action figure got
a missile out the back.
Yes,
because there was an actual action figure that shot out and that said it was a choking hazard. They made a certain, I think there's only about 2 or 3 left now in the world in Neiman box type thing, and they're worth fucking shit ton. It's one of the most expensive toys you can actually get now.
Okay.
Yeah, it
is. But that was kind of like the lore of Boba Fett, I think.
Okay, so he's too mysterious. So he had the mystique factor, and that's what's rocketed him.
And the danger, he could kill you, literally.
Yeah.
Choking hazard.
But when you think about it, like, because he's supposed to be a badass bounty hunter when you go to Jedi. I know, skipping Empire. a bit. His fight scenes
in a hole.
No, he basically he doesn't do anything in the great battle. He just goes, "It's good, Boba Fett," and like does his thing. He gets knocked into the Sarlacc pit by accident. Not even
it's like someone turns around and he just woo.
So he's just shite. He's just like again.
Yeah.
So I was never
He's
like
got a jetpack apparently. So
it didn't help him in that situation, though, did it?
So
let's be honest.
Got to charge it.
But I think you do get a lot of Star Wars fanboys who go into it and like look into say, oh, this character is amazing. And they made him a bigger deal in the books and stuff like that. But it wasn't something. I think the comics as well, but it wasn't.
Yeah,
like
I was joking about like Bosk and stuff. And
the Bosk's big now. Apparently, Bosk's like one of the big
but like there was books about all of these bounty hunters and stuff like that. So if people were like being big nerds about it. I think a lot of that stuff is now Legends canon though, so unfortunately people wasted the time memorizing that stuff. But
for me, why I like Boba Fett is literally comes down to his armor, his helmet. He looks like a droid. It literally is just aesthetics for me. It's not a case of like I could say for this moment this is why I love him. It literally just comes down to aesthetics and how he looks.
I think Sammy could pull off a Mandalorian armor pretty well.
I do think Boba Fett's aesthetic for his ship as well. I love that how it can either like fly that way or fly
Boba Fett ship. It's not called anything else.
It's called Slave One. Fuck that.
No,
shit.
It's not. It's called Boba Fett ship.
Boba Fett ship.
It's on the Lego box.
No, fuck. I can't abide that. No.
Can I just give you my last fact so I can put my laptop away because I'm sick of looking at it.
Of course.
The idea for the scroll, yeah. So do you know how in movies you have the credits of people back in the 70s, 80s, even in the 90s, you would have your credits of who's starring in it. So Lucas didn't like that because obviously he wanted to do the scroll again, and in the first one he kind of got away with it because nobody was really looking at this movie because apparently it's a big no-no in movies to do that. You've got to have your production company, your cast, and then the title of the movie, and he didn't do that. He did the title part, but again, no one was really looking at it. So he went to the Writers Guild and the Directors Guild, who said, no, you can't do it. Has to be at the front. And he was like, fuck that. So they did it, and they did the credits at the end, like you would get anyway, just not at the beginning. And they tried to fine Lucas and fine Kirshner, and Lucas just went, have it. $25,000, have it. I'll take this one because this, and it kind of changed how. So yeah, that's my last fact. I'm putting my laptop away.
No problem.
So Lucas is a union buster, right?
Yeah, he went against them and just took the hit because he said he would. They were trying because they were trying to go after Kushner as well, and he was like, "This is not his idea. This is all mine. I want it to look exactly the same as how it did in the first one." And they just went, "Well, you can't do that." And he went, "Well, I'm going to." And this is him again, hating Hollywood and wanting to move away from it. And laptop's away.
For that one, it's like a silly little change. It's like, oh, it doesn't affect anyone. It's more to do with egos or to say this is tradition. This is what we've had to do it. It's like you can't play that game for too long.
I quite like that he stood his ground because I think it's more valuable to like have the artistic vision available as an option. Fair enough if you want to do standard credits, like the fine, like everyone loves them. But it's nice that there's the option now to like have cold opens for movies where you don't have to be like have the intro music and like a video package type of thing.
What I would love is to go back to. I wouldn't mind having the the credits, the people who are in it, the director, the producer, the cast, and then the title. What I'm sick to death of seeing is how many production companies are actually involved in a movie before you even get to the fucking title. I watched a film today. 7.
What?
7 production companies associated with. it's in association with again, and it just kept going repeating. I was like, this is ridiculous. Let's just get the film, shall we?
I think they do a lot with more. I think they do it more with the horror movies now. I think because they've got because they can't just get one house to fund it. It's like get the money from loads of different places.
That's a good point.
Yeah, when we were kids, though, we loved the little like Columbia TriStar stuff that would come up, like with that horse. Yeah, like they all had music and stuff. So like that was, as a kid, that was cool. But I don't think anyone cares now.
No, and that's no,
it's true because Huxley loves the little kid with the fishing rod.
One.
Yeah. He's like, Mom, I love him. He's great.
He's got pulled in this time.
but doesn't it like ring something in your ears of like nostalgia when you hear it, and then you're like, you can pin a movie to that sound, like the movie you love to that sound. It's like when Columbia, when the Columbia lady comes on, and then all I can hear is.
I know, but I love it when they fuck with that at the same time. I think it was it Zombieland that the woman in the statue came like with the
she came to life and she started
beating the zombies up as well. So it's kind of like a little bit of fun there. But one question I wanted to ask you as well, because I know, Kelly, this might not be too relevant to you, so I do apologise, but I think it's an important question, especially with this movie, because when you look back, the original trilogy, they've been changed, there've been things added to, there's things taken out, sound effects, characters rearranged. Like Alec McGuinness's ghost was extra shiny in the new version as well. Out of all the ones, this one I felt had the least amount of kind of like changes or little messing about with as well. So I know there was a few extra spaceships flying about here, a little cleaning up of Star City. Like nowhere does Star City look as good as it did back in when it was originally cut.
That was when I noticed it, and when there was the scene, I think when like Leia and Han, like Leia was like pacing around a room and it like zoomed in. I was like, oh, they faked that. They've just like stuck like a strip, like a movie strip on the side of like a CGI building. And then when they were standing in there talking, like a random ship flies across the ceiling. That was the only moment where I got like took out of it by like thinking about like the after stuff. Whereas if you watch A New Hope and when they get to like the Mos Eisley, and it's just like monsters everywhere, like in front of the screen, in front of the characters.
And you can clearly tell what's being added and what's not. Like even if you didn't know.
Because even those little like one-eye droids from episode 1 are just like randomly running about, and I'm like, no, get that cat out of here.
The one that always stands out for me, and I know it's not this movie, it is. Oh, is it this one? No, it's not. No, it's definitely not, because Jabba's not in it. Is when he walks over Jabba's.
Yeah, that's the original one for New Hope. Because in the scene that was cut out, it was a guy that looked like a Henry VIII. It was like
he wasn't supposed to be an alien at first, I guess.
Oh, really?
No. It was created like for Jedi as the big slug monster of the Hutts.
I love the Hutts.
To do the stand thing, because I just assumed he like stood up on a box or something, but did they have to CGI him over the tail, like when they bent his neck, sort of thing?
I don't know how they did it, to be
fair. Kelly, when you were talking about those, like the Tazos and stuff, that was the first time that Jabba scene got put in, because those were like the 90s re-release ones when they were like, we have a new scene.
I know Carrie Fisher had to stand on a box in the entirety of this film just to be able to talk to Harrison Ford.
Is she really that short?
She's really tiny, bless her. She is
tiny little thing. And he's like a giant. So she had to stand on a box for the majority of this. But at least she got to wear a bra in this one.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, because they told that underwear didn't exist in Star Wars in the last one.
So, again, just to go over like how much I love like this movie, and there's certain elements I think that will stand at the end of time, basically. The first one is the Battle of the Hoth. I know we talked about Hoth the planet, but the actual battle scene was just epic
with the tow cables.
Oh, it's pure Star Wars fantasy. It's just everything that you want it to be.
One thing I wanted to like call out as well is, like how we talk a lot about like practical versus CGI and stuff. Like all like loads of the physical action stuff that they do in this movie just like looks fun. Like I think I remember as a kid being like, well, I want to like climb up the AT-AT and like, you know, swipe a saber at it and then throw a grenade in. Like it just all looks like fun. Like and I think it is just because of the way the set's designed, and they were just like they could make like any machine look like anything they want because it's like all fantasy and stuff. But yeah.
One of my favorite bits of was it we've got Lego Star Wars on the Switch, and I love doing the cables around the fucking legs. It's one of my favorite fucking bits of playing of the whole thing because it's just like it is so immersive, and it just it's just epic.
I love how they just immediately blow up afterwards. Or like, like they just take 2 shots and they're like, just because they fell over. But I love it.
Yeah, Jake named the game before Rogue Squadron. I think it was for 64.
That you could do the tow cables on that,
because when you were fighting the AT-ATs, you were flying the ship, and if you went at them and just shoot them, you would get blown to smithereens and you would die and stuff easy. So you had a certain time limit where you had to try and destroy them, and you had to time the tow cables perfectly, and it was so enjoyable, and you only got so many shots to do it as well. But like the epicness.
I was thinking, why did those ships have tow cables and half foods? Like, what would be the practical use for that normally? Because wouldn't it just wreck the ship if you like stuck a cable onto something and tried to fly?
I guess what I find funny as well, 80s are just like the most non-practical fucking machine ever. I'm a git square on 2 fucking legs.
And how did they
we are
drop
humans?
them on the
we
planet?
fall over a lot. You know, it just doesn't. It doesn't have got arms to pick themselves up. You know what I mean? You just literally, you what the fuck? You're not. You've got your guns and stuff, but it's just the most impractical. But it does look visually amazing, despite the fact that it's fucking shit.
Yeah.
I would love to know how they got them across the galaxy as well, because there's no
what
way they would
like,
fit
how
in the
did they
Star
drop
Trek.
them off?
Magic movie.
This is the first time we see the Super Star Destroyer, though.
Yes.
You know, that big, like the big long one with all the little lights and stuff on it, and it's like, I don't know how it's like 4 times the size of a Star Destroyer, and you're like, what?
When they needed to replace the Death Star, that was the thing, because like you didn't know the Death Star would make a return in the next in Jedi. But the second thing, and again, I think it's timeless, is the fight scene with where we get Luke and Vader, and and arguably, I believe it's the second best lightsaber fight that in the Star Wars, because I think we talked about it in the last one, the lightsaber fight in the prequels in I can't remember now. The Phantom Menace with Darth Maul.
Darth Maul.
Do you guys? So you guys actually like compare these? Because I feel like it's very different. Like it's a very different style.
But still, he's still fighting with a lightsaber.
It's to a degree. I mean,
One of them's a dance though, and this is like. You know, like
this is brute force. This is rage. This is anger. This is emotion. This is what I loved about.
But this is a man. This is also someone trying to get out that anger and hatred, because if he can do that, then Luke can join him in the dark side. So you've got Luke trying his best to still fight, but also try and keep that. You know, I am not like you. So there is kind of like it's not just a battle with lightsabers. It's a battle of you know, good and evil in how they are feeling. So
in the battles,
yes, that's the right word. And I absolutely. I mean, don't get us wrong. The Maul and
Obi-Wan,
Qui-Gon,
and
that is. Do you know what it is? It's probably just the music for me than anything else.
Actually, thinking about it, I think my favorite one's the you know, the end of Revenge of the Sith one. On Mustafar, the lava planet. And again, it's because of the music being so good.
I have the higher ground.
Well, the part before that.
Duel of the Fates is like probably the best, for me personally, the best Star Wars music score, even though anytime Vader came on the screen in this and that music just hit, like I had goosebumps because I was like, oh, that is so effective. I would
murders so many admirals in this movie,
and it's so great.
I've just seen Lee talk about
Vader keeps killing people in this movie for losing Millennium Falcon. Imagine being the person promoted after that. I'd retire. That is such a great comment.
You see the person standing there being like, I like how he
would find the door and just step out and fall forever.
Yeah, and he can also kill people over Zoom calls as well.
But at least he like kind of backed up everything. When you get Kylo later on, he just has hissy fits. Like he literally just has a bitch fit because things aren't going his way. And Vader is like, oh, fuck damn, no, you're gone. We'll move on.
I did think it was interesting. There's a part where I think it's when they lose the Millennium Falcon, probably when they get get the hyperspace. He just walks away. Like this kind of really he doesn't say anything. He doesn't like, push any of the admirals out the way. He just turns around and walks. And I'm just like, yeah, that's a guy who's been to work and knows what it's like.
yeah, exactly. But this fight scene is absolutely breathtaking. It's a bit. I feel a bit uneasy when he has taken Luke's arm and Luke decides to move.
Yeah.
As opposed to it's the way he moves around that whatever it is, that really makes me uneasy because I'm like, at any moment you could just go.
Yeah.
So please stay still and let's figure this out. You've just been told some of the most important news of your life. Let's just stop moving for a second.
And it's all because he gives him a little zap on the arm and he's like, and then he gets angry.
Yeah.
But that just shows you, like, because we're thinking that this is a fight to the death and stuff like that. It's not. This is Vader playing with the prey. This is plays with his food. This is him just basically walking around saying, I could basically try and take you anytime I want, but I'm trying to capture. Like, I think the carbonate idea was stupid. I was like, no one's going to fall for that.
And then when when he jumps up and then he's like swinging around on the gas pipes, like Vader's like, impressive.
It's like, oh, you've been to the Dagobah system.
And I'm like,
you've been doing your training with Yoda.
I can complete your training.
Is it really impressive that he just jumped up and swung on a pipe? I don't know.
Given that you can force choke people, maybe that's not quite impressive.
And he flies down the stairs.
And we'd seen a lot of like what Vader can do. Like you said, he can kill people through Zoom calls. Like he literally is just playing with Luke at this point because he could go full Vader and that would be over. But
could he though? At this point in time, had anyone thought about full Vader, or is that a retcon?
Do you know? I don't know at this point, Jake. When it
Vader
comes to
doesn't do much in these movies.
No,
and I like him like that. But then now in like the modern canon, he's like, I don't know what he is.
The lore is it's
just a monster type thing.
Now he's like, oh, when he uses the Force, like the entire building shakes and he can like do anything. But back here, he was like, no, Luke, now it's time to fight in the Haunted Mansion set, and the furniture is going to fly at you.
Yeah, because technically, the scene where the Millennium Falcon's flying towards the thing is they're almost in range for the tractor beam. If Vader was like modern Vader, he would just put his hand out and he would bring the Millennium Falcon to him. He wouldn't be getting away in that type of situation.
Isn't there a part in Obi-Wan where he almost stops a ship from flying away and like rips the side off it, sort of thing?
Yeah.
Then
the TV show Obi-Wan.
Then we have Rey doing it in, like I say, the modern ones as well. When the ship's getting away with Chewie and she thinks she destroys it because she's that powerful.
Yeah,
she is. Yeah,
she's
the best Skywalker.
She had a way to fix that morning.
Nah, Luke's the best Skywalker.
Lee's on fire with his comments tonight. It's crazy that after this, Luke is like, there's some good in him. He cut your hand off and asked you to kill his boss.
I was gonna. Honestly, like I was thinking about that afterwards. I was like, when did he see the good in him? Because this was the only time they'd met, and then he doesn't meet him again until like after he says that. So I'm like,
yeah, and
is it the fact that he doesn't kill him and he could have?
Unless it's
thank you for not killing me.
I appreciate
it because they can sense each other through like the unit, like through space. Because there's a lot of that sometimes, like when he's like Leia,
Leia,
Ben. He's always shouting for people.
It's the
ugly cry.
Oh, the ugly cry face. That'll just stay with us for a while. There was some moments in Here Mind I did see a young Sebastian Stan. Like, I really did see where people were coming from with that. But the minute he does that ugly cry, I'm like, nope, that's gone. Lost that one.
Yeah.
So this might be, it's a difficult one because I remember seeing this for the first time as a kid and not having it spoilt that Vader was Luke's father, and seeing it.
Yeah.
And a lot of people talk about like the Sixth Sense as one of the best twists and like things that shocks you. I think I remember being as a kid just falling off the sofa, just like what, like didn't like. What was your kind of reaction seeing it? I don't know if Kelly stayed spoiler free.
Did you?
I knew he was
the
dad. I knew he was the daddy.
It's impossible not to. It was like, they were making jokes about it in The Simpsons and everything.
Yeah, I love that. I absolutely love that when he walks out and he's like, Luke's, what Darth Vader's his father? And everyone kicks off. I was thinking about this today. Because for me, I just feel like I always knew. Right. I generally can't think of the
not knowing.
Yeah, exactly.
I can remember my parents telling me it,
but they spoiled it.
I don't.
Like,
well,
on
I don't.
Purpose?
No, like I think the movie was like, not this movie, but I think one of the movies was on at the time. So maybe they thought that would get me like further into it. I don't know.
Did you know?
Yeah.
Spoiler.
Unless I was like too dumb to understand it, and they had to like tell me afterwards. Like after.
Is that how you learned about the birds and the bees? Like, so Luke is the farm.
No, Eurotrash taught me
that. Yeah. Now that was an education.
I'll hear Anton de Khan.
So I've got imagination now. Quickly, poor young Jake, still got a beard, sitting on the sofa, and his parents are sitting there going, "So Bruce Willis is dead all the way along. There's aliens and signs. They keep doing all these different spoilers all the way through."
Oh my god, was it like Phoebe's mum in Friends where she ruined all the endings for them so that everything was a happy ending?
Old Yeller got a shotgun at the end.
Old Yeller survived.
This is why I don't care about spoilers to this day.
Is this it? That explains a lot, man, because you really don't. Like, you're not bothered about getting anything ruined.
It doesn't ruin it though. That's I can't go into it. I don't know. Like, do you think that does ruin this movie if you have already?
No, but it kind of steals an experience. I think that's the thing. It's because you can watch The Sixth Sense and enjoy it, but nothing will take away from the moment when you realize you're just like, oh shit. It's like an experience. It's like a moment that you kind of can't get back. It's like
See, I was the dickhead in the cinema who was like, he's fucking dead.
You didn't.
Way before.
Like in the others, like, they're all ghosts.
Yeah.
I am. I'm thick as fuck that I have to like have it spelled out to me.
Sammy still doesn't know that Bruce Willis is a ghost. She's like, I've watched it 5 times. Is he dead? Is he really?
Chris will be telling us a joke about how like he still went to work even though he was dead. So it's the saddest tragedy movie. But yeah, like the reason I think I don't quite like this one is because it's a tragedy. And Star Wars is, in my mind, excellent at tragedy. Like think of like Order 66 and the whole like Anakin thing, and like they know how to ramp it like all the way up. Or like, I don't know if it's George who's got these like grand tragic ideas in his head, but the other two end on massive highs, like parties, like the universe is saved. So I think as a kid I was like, oh, this is a downer, I'm gonna have to watch the next one to get the taste out of my mouth. Sort of thing.
Let's get that Ewok party going, shall we?
Yeah. Nope.
Yeah. But that again, master of marketing as well, because even though it leaves you on a downer, you after you're watching Empire, there's no way you can just say, I can wait to see the next one. I don't have to watch Jedi. You needed a conclusion to this story. And that's
the end scene where they're just standing there, just looking into the fucking abyss. You know what I mean? And it's just like
shit.
What happens now? What the fuck is going to happen now? So you are like kind of invested because you don't like think like it's just so open.
Movies didn't end like that. Like back, what did this come out? Did I say this was 1980 when we were talking the other day? Because
Empire was 82, I think, wasn't it? Oh my god, I don't know. It might be later.
Because Jedi's 83 because we're the same age.
1980, yeah, sorry.
1980, right. So they had to wait 3 years to get the next one.
And before Chris says it, no, I didn't see this in the pictures, you twat. I wasn't old enough for
that. I'm the same age as Jedi, and when we both turned 40, I went to go and see it in the cinema, and that's where I fell asleep. Well, I was like, I'd seen this, so I was like, I'm so tired.
The movie it was
like about 9 o'clock at night, and I was like, you know what? I've seen this like 100 million times. I could go to sleep now for a bit and wake up, and the end will be here, so it'll be okay. But yeah, I share a birthday with Jedi.
Aww.
So the only thing, like as Jake said, to maybe change this movie, would you, Jake? Would you give it a more happy or pleasant ending, or?
I don't know. No, I think it has to end badly. I mean, I'd probably go a little and not give Luke a new hand until the next movie. Let people sit with that one for a little while longer.
Yeah,
because he just immediately has it.
It's like the filling of a shit sandwich, isn't it? It's like you've got the two kind of bits of bread, and The Empire Strikes Back is that kind of like, you know, fucking EastEnders. You know what I mean? It's just like that fucking, oh my god, that life-changing like information and stuff. But no, I like the fact that it's just like fucking nay parties, nay fucking woo. Nah.
You're
Hands
right,
in carbonite, we're all fucked. You know.
I know you're right. There really isn't a win in this movie because even on Hoth they get ran off the planet.
Yeah,
like sort of thing.
Yeah. All our heroes get their asses handed to them in this one, and sometimes you need to have that for like storytelling. The good guy can't always win.
No.
So that kind of shows it in this one, and obviously they do in the next one. Don't worry, it's okay. It's all okay.
The Tauntauns always die.
Did you kill more animals and monsters in the next one? In Jabba's
please
palace?
Please stop bringing. It is so great. It's grim, mind.
No, nobody say anything further about that.
Audio listeners
down a dark path.
Yeah, anyone listening to us on Spotify or iTunes, I just go to YouTube and watch this part. He's got a lovely face. Do you know what? The face there is a lot better than what you actually see, because it's like.
Have you seen poor Luke's face? It's mangled. Don't know what happened to him.
How old is Luke though?
This is an original, so
wow,
he played in the microwave.
So that's in good condition though.
Let's give it a sniff. Moist.
Does he smell like the 80s?
I was thinking, you know, like
he smells like a tauntaun.
Because you guys all had these cool Star Wars figures, but for some reason I just never had any. But what I did have was some TIE fighters, and I was thinking, I was like, oh hell yeah! Like when I saw them in this movie, I was like, I did have some Star Wars toys, just not very many.
If you can look over my shoulder, you can see the Millennium Falcon there.
Go and get yours.
Is it Lego?
Yours.
Yeah,
don't you go and get yours.
I think I had a Lego Naboo
Oh my god, he's pulling
Starfighter.
it. Jake, tell him to stop.
Is that the same
Look
toy?
At that. That's amazing.
Are you samesies and?
I think Kelly's is an earlier model.
Kelly's is quite.
It's fallen a bit, and that's why we got it cheap on eBay, because the band just wanted a Millennium Falcon, and Adam found it, and we've got an 8080 as well. That we got quite cheap. That still makes the noises and stuff, but it's like one of the originals. One of the originals. But
I know. Did Kenner not re-release these?
That was a re-release one in the 90s. Kelly's got that to the 80s version that you could tell straight away.
You can see by the coloration of it.
It looks like it's had a fag.
Yeah,
it's like
that's what my Super Nintendo looks like.
That's how I remember, like my Millennium Falcon looking as well.
It's amazing, like all the details, like
See, my Star Wars collection was shared between me and my cousin, so and they had to see.
Oh, actually, Kelly, I know it's going to sound really rude. Can I see the back of it, please?
The exhaust part.
Yeah, because that's how you can tell what model it is. No, go like
Down.
where go up a bit.
Oh, I'm just saying that. I'm saying that the date, it is actually a 90s one. This one.
Yeah, I thought because it's got the lights on, because
Yeah.
that's the sound effects. That is actually the same model as mine.
1995.
Yep,
Yeah.
Same.
Sorry for peddling false info. I
No,
apologize.
I just noticed that. Sorry, I didn't want to call you out. I saw the
You'll have had
lights. I
all
was
the
like,
toy guys going like,
how dare you?
Jake's already mentioned
She's
it.
a fucking liar, peddler of lies.
Jake's mentioned this in the Discord. There is actually a toy fair in March in Gateshead Stadium, isn't it?
It might be a retro games thing, but I don't know if they have toys.
Right.
Is that the one we went to before?
There is another one before. Next time it is, I'm going to give Kelly a shout because they sell all the
Kelly, it was so fun.
old Star Wars. That's why I got my little.
You can buy weird sachets of Sylvanian families.
If you like trains,
I love licking them. I love it. The velvet.
There is a lot of trains there as well. Like it's a very you have like.
I don't like trains.
I mean, I'm pleased. But they had like a lot of English toys. If that makes sense, I think you
like
might get what I mean.
Red van.
Yes.
No.
No, I don't. But they had quite a few of them. But then you had a lot of like retro toys. Oh, no, I actually didn't mind that when we went there.
No, like I said, we'll let Kelly know just so. Be good to take the little one because it'll cost you a fortune because yeah.
I'll leave them in the car.
You can haggle though, and some things are like £2 for like weird unnamed figures.
I got some Lord of the Rings things to go with my Lord of the Rings collection. I remember now. I remember what I bought.
I always come out with something. That's always a bad idea, but yeah.
I think you have to. Like, just to feel good, like, yay, toys.
You need that dopamine hit. You need that, because the thing is, it's the stuff that you used to have as a kid and got rid of. It's that kind of trying to obtain it back. I'm like that with Polly Pockets. You know, I had such a collection, and then my mum gave it away and stuff like that.
But let's not talk about mothers and toys.
I was gonna say that though, Kelly, because I think my cousin had a Death Star that was basically a Polly Pocket. Like it opened up and had loads of like tiny like figures inside, all the different. It was like, it wasn't what was inside the Death Star. It was like, oh, here's Luke's family getting killed. Like a little scene of that.
Little scene of it all. Yeah. I wasn't a Polly Pocket girl. I was an O Penny girl.
Right.
I didn't have Polly Pockets. O Penny was what I had, and I used to just put all my whole O Pennies up and then put them away and not let Michaela play with them. That was horrible.
I had Mighty Max, but he would fit inside Polly Pockets. He had they had the same feet, so you could swap the characters around.
Yeah, I had like a boyfriend. Just basically, we used to both have Sega Mega Drive, so we used to like swap games and stuff.
Yeah.
And I used to go to his for tea, and we'd play Streets of Rage 3 and blah. He had Mighty Max, and I had Polly Pockets, and we used to have families. Yeah.
Wow.
So hopefully the one brother and sister there, Kelly.
Yeah. It was his
different surnames. Different surnames.
So just talking, I know we had a conversation at the start by you saying that Empire, like for me and Sammy, it was our favourites. For you and for Kelly and Jake, it wasn't. Have we? I hope we've ignited a little bit more love for this movie just by
it's still a fun time. I just really like all the puppets and monsters in Return of the Jedi.
Do you know what? Maybe when Return of the Jedi comes around, I might have a different opinion, because that used to be my opinion. Return of the Jedi was my favorite one.
Yeah, I mean, I do enjoy Empire, like I really do. And the thing is, I am one of those people who, well, now I don't, because I'm like an old lady and like I like happiness now. But when I was younger, I was like a bit more sort of
give me the doom.
Like, I like that. I like the fact that like everything was fucking shit. You know, that's the way it should be. That's life.
Now you want the party. Now you want the Ewok party.
Yeah, but I keep calling it Jetty.
You can call it Jetty. No, you can call it Jetty.
I love it. It's just chef's kiss. I just love it.
But yeah, like this one is like more of an adult movie, so I can see why it became like the favorite, because everyone would have been like, oh, then I'll be taken seriously as a Star Wars enjoying 9-year-old if this is my favorite.
No,
I'm like, give me more puppets. That frog's gonna eat a little guy in front of the palace. Yeah,
you just want to see the monsters, don't you? That's it.
The Rancor is incredible.
Yeah.
I'll bring
I
him.
knew he was
this
looking for it. I knew you would look for it.
I'll
In
bring
this
the Rancor
movie,
out next time.
We get the big puppet worm that comes out the hole, and you can tell it's a puppet. And I'm like, yeah.
And I am one of the I love the original Sarlacc pit. I think the new one's shit. I'll be honest.
Yeah.
Oh, with the beak.
Yeah, I don't like.
Yeah, I was really confused about that when I first saw it as a kid. And I'm like, because like you didn't have like nerd news websites, so you're like, was this?
Yeah, you had to make your own mind up. You had to like make your own mind up. You didn't have other people there to tell you.
Yeah, you were like, is this new? I don't know.
No.
I kind of miss them days a little bit.
I like the simplicity of the Sarlacc pit. It's a pit you fall in, it digests you for 1,000 years.
It doesn't have to bite you.
1,000 years.
That's what it was. That's what it said. 1,000 years.
Yeah,
I don't know if someone can chomp through me for 1,000 years.
I don't know how it keeps you alive, but that's what they said. Yeah.
Jesus
Digestive
Christ.
enzymes.
So
Dengar goes in and rescues Boba Fett from the Sarlacc pit. No, I think that's retcon now. Doesn't he get out himself?
Yeah, he just pulls himself out now as well.
Yeah.
Stupid. So yes, I love this. I love Empire. I love Star Wars. So it's always a good time to talk about it. So now, what you guys up to? So Sammy, what's up? What's happening tomorrow?
Tomorrow is it's monsters and it's killer clowns from outer space. It doesn't go the way we initially had it planned out in our head. We thought this was going to be absolutely epic because there's a lot of prosthetics, a lot of practical effects, not a great deal of information out there on these things. So we do our best to cover killer clowns from outer space. I mean, don't get us wrong, it's over an hour episode, so we must have talked about something. But yeah, Monsters tomorrow drops at 8:00 in the morning.
If I can upload it, yes.
Hey, it's fine. Honestly, if it doesn't, it'll be available. It'll be available on Monday, and also the audio for that episode and this episode. Anything else?
That's the only thing for this week, I think. Yes.
Yeah. Goes out on Monday tea time.
Cool. Jake, what have you got planned for this week?
Well, there's not a whole lot going out, but we're recording finally Winter Soldier for the Countdown to Doomsday series.
Cool.
That's going to be a bumper episode. I'm sure it's going to probably be super long. We've got a special guest. It's apparently the best Marvel movie, so we're in for a good time.
Cool.
Yeah, and that comes out on Saturday. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. But we've got to get it recorded first. It doesn't exist yet.
Yeah.
Nothing exists till it's been made.
And other than that, Monster Hunter Wilds is coming out soon, which I'm very excited for video games wise. So hopefully I'll be playing some of that on the channel and fighting dinosaurs and stuff like that and getting into hijinks.
Kelly, what mischief have you got planned? Because you've got some big announcements which I'm excited for.
Man, it's half term next week. It's just fucking survival of the fittest, I've got
I'm not just talking about the week, but I thought about that big thing you told us at the end of March.
Yes, hello. So yeah, Kelly's still doing stand-up comedy, and she's still kind of making people laugh. So
bringing joy to the masses.
Kelly is smashing stand-up comedy,
mashing the mundane away and putting some merriment in there. But yeah, my mum came to see us last week, and she was so proud, even though I talked about my fanny a lot.
Hey, that's when you know you got a good relationship with your mum, when you can do that.
So I'm performing on the 25th of March at the Town Wall in Newcastle. It's a Flinter event. Let them speak, and so I'll be doing that. I'm thinking about doing something new. God knows what it's going to be. But I'll tell a story. I'll make it funny, I'm sure.
Waka waka.
Waka waka. And Kelly will be returning. Kelly will be returned to the podcast in March as well for the big Pennywise and
It's gonna be amazing.
It's saga.
It's a clown.
It's a clown. It's a happy story. Georgie, well, don't put your hand in there, Georgie.
Is he also a killer clown from outer space? Technically,
he is an alien.
We talk about the where they came from, because it was a time of clowns.
Yes.
Yep.
So yeah, it is mentioned in Monsters, and I will be wearing my It jumper for when we do it. I will be probably dying of heat.
I've heard Kelly's going to get dressed up as a clown. So
can you imagine, like, with the clacker thing?
No, I'm just going to be a balloon.
I float.
It's gonna be fun. That's if I can get through the book and I've not, killed someone in the meantime. I know. It's. Do you know what? Actually, talking to you in the Discord about it actually give us a bit of a
boost.
Yeah. Absolutely. So thank you for that, Kelly.
Oh, you're all right, Pet. Seriously, if I can help.
The only problem with it, from what I've heard, is the end is the most fucked up part. So you're willing your way towards this horrible cliff, basically.
I'm on the last 10 hours now, so it is part 4. That's the last.
Oh my
god,
segment. Kelly, it's 40 hours.
40 odd hours. Yeah.
Of audio book.
Yeah.
Whoa, that's sick.
Yeah, and it also, if anyone wants to actually, start, now would be a great time. It is available if you have Spotify Premiere. It is available through your Premiere as well. You can get it there to listen to. Yeah,
nice.
Or you can do what I do. I've got it on audio. I've got it on Spotify. I've got it on Audible. I've got my ground covered.
But for all you naughty nerds out there as well, there is an episode that's coming out on Tuesday called Top Grumps. It's a web series.
Oh, that's right. I forgot about our web series. I do apologize, guys.
What horrible freak are they talking about this week?
Oh my god, I've just remembered.
We are talking about Frank Drebin from the Naked Gun series.
Oh, so that's a normal guy.
But it's who's on it.
So this episode might actually get us taken off of the internet. So yeah, we'll have to see what happens when Leia uploads it.
Please,
fucking hell!
Please don't take YouTube away from me already. Yeah, I've only had it a month.
What's with this race to the bottom? Everyone's decided to go on.
It's the Naked Gun. We had to go there. It's hilarious, but yeah. I was on that episode, so I take full responsibility for everything that did go on. So
because he's letting it go out.
It's hilarious, man. It was fun. As long as you take a small glass of OJ, that's all I'm saying.
Oh my god. So just to recap, we've got Monsters tomorrow, we've got the Top Grumps on Tuesday. Did you say you were gaming this week, Jake, or?
Probably towards the end of the week. That's when Monster Hunter comes out.
Cool.
And thanks to everyone who checked out our wrestling podcast.
Yes.
We'll be continuing that when we've watched Halloween Havoc 93, which is the next one.
Then we've got Winter Soldier on Saturday for Countdown to Doomsday. The audio for all episodes, as in Monsters, and this one will go up on Monday tea time. If you are on YouTube, please remember, like, share, subscribe, hit the notification bell so you never miss an episode.
And just say we have got our March lineup confirmed, locked in. So we've got the Maltese Falcon coming next week. Death Becomes Her is coming up the week after. We are going to do the Addams Family 1 and 2. Yes. Then Stephen King's It we're discussing, and we're finishing with The Force Awakens for the final for the month of March. So yes, so that is what we've locked in. This is going to be I know the Addams Family one won't be live because Sammy's beautiful other half is having a birthday. So
yes, he turns 40.
Oh gosh.
Yes.
So
put it out there.
So we'll need to record that at some time. But yes, lots of fun, lots of interesting things. And keep an eye out for Chris. Chris is always up to something. Just saying.
Always
dodgy Chris.
Remember.
If anyone's lonely, join the Discord because we've been doing a lot more community get-togethers there. Paul and Chris basically are leading the charge on that stuff. So thank you guys, because it's been fun getting more people to spend time together.
It's nice to know that there's people there.
Yeah,
that's been the best part.
Just saying,
not bots, unless they have sophisticated speech technology.
I mean, I do question Chris sometimes, but when do I not?
He does repeat key phrases a lot.
Oh, apparently Lee's just put in the chat. Top Grumps have a big surprise in March.
Are they being taken over by the
Are you ending?
wonks? They're starting their own channel.
Is Battle being retconned?
but just to say as well, because I've just remembered, I know Wonk will be doing a lot of things, Women of Nerd Culture for March, with it being Women's Month, so you'll be seeing
I'm involved in it.
I forgot because we're very busy, but they're doing a Twitch takeover in March, and they're going to play some games and hang out more and chat more. So you'll get more Women of Nerd Culture.
We've got something very special planned, the three of us, in March as well for International Women's Day. It's gonna, I don't want to say anything. It's not my place. But be on the lookout on the socials. We all have
kick
our
everyone's asses.
But yeah, just talking about the Discord as well. It's what's it called? The thingy chamber this weekend.
Oh, the Elimination Chamber.
Yeah, the Elimination Chamber. So
wrestling.
Yeah, so might be watching that on Saturday night. So if you've got now to do in the early hours, or if you're like Sammy who doesn't sleep, join us in the Discord. We will chat and watch along and have fun.
Any other reason than I have a fucking dickhead of a cat who keeps us up?
I will be asleep.
Jake's just putting it out there. I'm not watching.
It starts at 1 a.m. That's ridiculous.
It'll probably be me, Chris, and Lee. Don't worry, and whoever comes and joins.
It can't be any better than the Tyson match where I wake up at my I woke up at my natural normal time, and these losers are still on there watching it, and I was like, "Oh, hi everyone!"
Well, they're losers. I resent that.
Did you enjoy the fight?
I don't know. I enjoyed the company. That was the thing. I enjoyed the company.
Yeah. So if there's any night owls out there, I guess, but you better not be cranky the next day. That's not fair.
Don't blame us.
I'm always cranky. Okay, but that's okay. But I can't get my words out now. But yes, so same bat time, same bat channel.
See you nerdy, everyone.
Bye.
Bye.